Well, good evening, everybody. Big John here, yours truly, Big John. First of all, I'm going to put a tune on.
In a city full of shadows, where the light forgets to shine, there's a group of silent heroes, giving all their heart and time. They walk the streets of sorrow, where the pain is all too real. With open arms they gather, helping wounds to heal. Maid Marions lift the fallen, mend the broken, with a love that can't be spoken. For the homeless, for the veterans, for the women and the children, they bring hope in the darkest night, a guiding star, a beacon of light. They find the lost and lonely in the corners of despair, offering a shoulder, showing someone cares. To mothers with their children, seeking shelter from the storm, they provide a safe haven, a place to keep them warm. Maid Marions lift the fallen, mend the broken, with a love that can't be spoken. For the homeless, for the veterans, for the women and the children, they bring hope in the darkest night, a guiding star, a beacon of light. With every hand they hold and every tear they dry, they stitch the fabric of our souls, give wings so we can fly. In a world that seems so heartless, they remind us love is real. With every act of kindness, they help the world to heal. Maid Marions lift the fallen, mend the broken, with a love that can't be spoken. For the homeless, for the veterans, for the women and the children, they bring hope in the darkest night, a guiding star, a beacon of light. So here's to those who give without a thought of gain. In the midst of all our struggles, they're the sunshine in the rain. For the ones who heal the broken, this song is our prayer. Maid Marions of the world, we're grateful you're there.
Oh, such a lovely tune, that, guys. Such a lovely tune. I want to give a big shout out to Rob K. Rob is who made that tune, and he's made one for the Robin Hoods. Now, I've got no guests, as you can see. There's been a bit of an emergency reschedule, but I'm going to go ahead with a stream tonight because I just want to announce a new show coming, an NHP UK show. As people will know, actually, sorry, I'm just going to be sharing this because I want a couple of people to see it. But as people will know, I run a political party along with Patrick McGinnis in London, and I must say, Pat's been he's been the backbone of this party. When we started up, my mum were ill, and I had what do you call it? My mum comes first. He knew that, but Pat's been the backbone of the party. We've got a website. He's done a lot in getting people to run for us and making contact throughout. I haven't done that much because, believe it or not, I've ran consistently now in 3 elections, one after another, and I'm not getting. Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. So I started my first election 2021. Then there was an election the year after and the year after. It's a bit different than other areas. Other areas, elections are normally every 4 years, depending if something goes on, like they've had boundary changes or there's a by-election because somebody left. Now, mine has been a constant. I've been out 3 years, 3 elections on the run, including a by-election as well. So it's been really difficult for me, and I haven't had the time to put into like the party like Pat has. But Pat's done the backbone of this party, Patrick McGinnis. But anyway, so we've got 2 candidates in our party. They're called Angie and Andy, and both mothers, and have both had troubles with social services. So going forward, I'm going to be doing streams with Angie and Angie, and we're going to be talking to people. Thank you. Just come saying good. We're going to be talking to Angie and Andy, and we want people's stories to do with social services. Anything like that, we want to hear your stories. We will take other stories on, but primarily it's going to be social services, and that will mean some people can't show the face. And I just want people to be honest with us, and we're not going to judge people, because if someone says to me, "Do you have issues with the social services?" my answer is going to be yes. Where do your issues lie? Across the board, including places like Kafkas and stuff like that, social services workers, the way they do things, forced adoption and stuff like that. I've just got big issues with that, guys. And why have I got big issues? Because I've talked to these mothers and families who've been through this we did a demo outside social services, alongside social services a while back, about 3 years ago, and we met a traveller couple. They had 4 children. The state had took the 2 youngest and left them with the 2 oldest kids. I will try and find the stream somewhere, wherever it is, and I'll go through it. But it's the way they were treated, and the couple didn't seem nasty to me. They were honest in the stream, but during that stream, we had somebody come up to us in the street, and he's called Musa, and he's Somalian. So what had happened, I'll just tell you his story. So he told us on the day, he brought his 2 boys, lovely looking boys. Now, what had happened, they'd gone to school one day. School had noticed bruises on them, kept the kids, and when the parents came, they kept the kids were being kept. Now, what Musa did, he did something that we've talked about a lot in the reboot program. He reacted when the police pulled him. He reacted aggressively, which ended up him being arrested. Now, in the end, the kids went back to the parents, and it was nothing. It was that the kids told the school that they just got the bruise by falling over in the backyard. That's what they said to the school, and they ended up getting the kids back. But it's still, to this day, and this is 3 years ago, the guy's been harassing his family. And, you know, I just don't like it, me. I don't like how they treat families and kids. Obviously, some families are guilty. Kids get abused and do get abused. Abuse does come in children, does come more from family members or people who are known to them. That's where the abuse is more thing, and that's factual. That you can search a lot of records, and that is actual fact. Now, I'm not I'm not sticking up or going against anyone, but not everybody is guilty. Not everyone is guilty. But the way it goes, these people are made to look guilty. Now, I want to pull an incident up that happened in Her Hills the other month. Now, something had happened with a kid, gone to hospital. Social services turned up at these Romanians' doors, right? And they were English-speaking social services and police. And they took the kids off them in broad daylight. And, I mean, it's an issue that they do it in broad daylight. And I've seen a few things where they've gone and took kids in broad daylight, middle of the street, front of everybody. Now, that can't be good for the parents or the kids mentally. It just can't be. And other people in the street. And I see it far too often. Obviously, sometimes these kids need to be taught. I get it. And I'm not denying it. I'm not denying that. But there's got to be a better way. And what they did in Her Hills. Thank you, Simon. You'll have to on that. And so what happened in Her Hills? They went up and they took these kids. Now, when they did have after the riots, when they did have a meeting, there were 3 translators in the meeting to translate for these people. So already there's a language barrier and a communication barrier. I did try to point this out to a couple of people. No, forget that. It's not that. They're immigrants and just want to smash the place up. But it could have been handled better if they had a translator. And what I also pointed out in Her Hills area is it's a segregated community. They put them all in one place, and it's not good for our life. It's not good for Britain. That's not British values, and that's not good for Britain. And you've seen the aftermath. You've seen all the riots, a bus being smashed up and all that, over kids being took off to parents. Now, it's just unbelievable, the mistakes they made there. And that first mistake was communication to me. They should have had somebody who could speak their language, who they could talk to. And secondly, could they have done it a bit better way than going round in broad daylight in a segregated area and they think that nothing's going to happen? They rioted and the police ran off. I can't go say as much about these kind of mistakes. Why do I always go on about this thing? Because it happened in Oldham in 2001 with the Oldham Bradford riots. The Ritchie report in 2002 stated that the council had not dealt with these issues. Social housing, put everybody in the same area, creating ghettos. This is what it says in a report in 2002, and I weren't politically active. I never made that report up. I wasn't politically active then, but I did see the area where I born, all my family were born in flames, and it upset me. It upset my family. And we've had it in Her Hills. That was upsetting for me because it was rioting and things being burnt on the street. And then we had it in Southport. Again, things being burnt on the street. And I don't want people to do that. I want to be a local councillor, so I don't want anyone burning up the area where I'm running or the town where I'm running. I'm just dead set against all that. I'm just dead set against all that kind of stuff. One sec, guys, one sec. Just let me do a voice note. I've just had an emergency broadcast. Someone getting in contact with me. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just going to do a quick voice. So yeah, I don't want to see that as a local council. I don't want to see that anywhere in our country. But mistakes are made. Mistakes are made by the authorities, and Her Hills is an exact duplicate of what went on in Oldham in 2001. And the Ritchie report, I will get the Ritchie report up actually. The Ritchie report. The Ritchie report stated, I'll go on Wikipedia. I'll get it up. Yeah, it's good. This will be interesting. I just can show the hypocrisy of the media and even Wikipedia in something that they've said here. So bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Present. And the thing is, guys, you know, like, I've studied, I've read, and what I know as a person from Oldham, I know this report and I know these riots really, really well. Yeah, so I'll read what it says. The racial riots took place throughout Oldham and a small part of neighbouring Chadderton, peaking on Saturday, 26th of May 2001, and continuing on Sunday, 27th, Monday, 28th of May. They were particularly intensive in Glodwick. This is the area where I bought Marlborough Street, then we moved to Chief Street. In an area to the southeast of Oldham Town Centre, they were highly violent and led to the use of petrol bombs, bricks, bottles, and other such projectiles by up to 500 Asian youths as they battled against lines of riot police. At least 20 people were injured in the riots, including 15 officers, and 37 people were arrested. Other parts of Oldham, such as Coppice and Westwood, were also involved. Asians, including those of Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and Indian heritage, make up 11% of Oldham's population. That was at that time. I think that's up to about 18% now, that. But constitute around 2% of the workforce at the local council, the town's biggest employer. The rate of mixed race marriage in the town is less than 1%. Most Oldham primary schools are single race, and many secondary schools are 99% white or 99% Asian. On Saturday, May 26th, the Live and Let Live pub, which was occupied at the time, was pelted with brick, stones, petrol bombs, several cars ablaze, including an occupied police van. Lines of riot police were drafted in to combat the spiring violence. Several officers were injured, 32 police vehicles damaged. On May the 28th, 2001, the headquarters of local newspaper was attacked. A large group of Asian rioters threw petrol bombs into the premises and smashed 3 plate glass windows. Well, let me just tell you, there was white people involved, but the majority were Pakistani Muslims, right? I'll just say that right outright. If anyone thinks I'm not right or wants to challenge me on that, they can do. Just weeks after the riots, the deputy mayor of Oldham, Riaz Ahmed, became a victim of arson when someone threw a petrol bomb at his house in Chadderton, setting it alight. No, and that's what it says. And, you know, you seem to think, oh, wow, someone's done that. Now, they haven't said it's a racial issue, but that was his own community doing that, guys. Honestly, it wasn't anybody white. It was his own community. So, you know, I should speak on this because it's my time where the riots happened in 2002. I've done a lot into this. Also in 2002, the riots were in 2001. Now, in the early 90s, my dad, who was West Indian, approached the council and said, look, social housing, you're not dealing with racial issues between communities. There's going to be trouble. And then 2001 with the riots. And when you read the this wiki thing, it's based on the things that my dad and other community people said to the council at the time. And the council at the time, there were only 2 Asians in the council. The rest of them were white. So it's not no Asian gang in the council like they all go on about Arut Shah. Now, it wasn't like that. It was a liberal, white-dominated council. And for 30 years, they never dealt with these issues between communities. One of the worst part of the thing that proper sparked it up was an old guy was attacked in Wearmouth. I'm sure his name is in this thingy. Walter Chamberlain. Old guy was attacked, veteran Walter Chamberlain attacked, beaten up black and blue in Wearmouth by Pakistani youths, young lads. And so as that was building up, so these tensions have been building up for 20 years beforehand. So what does that attract? That attracts the so-called far-right parties, National Front, BNP. Now, they came up here and they tried running in elections. They got thousands of votes. They tried running in elections up here. Now, what I love, me, what gets me, and why they won't never have me on any kind of interview, because I'd wipe them out. I would absolutely wipe the interview out, you know, because we know what the interviewers now, they'll start bringing race into it and BNP, and they would never have come to that our town of Oldham if these issues had not been dealt with. They'd not been dealt with for 30 years, guys. For 30 goddamn years, nobody in the council didn't want to deal with these kind of issues between communities. So what happened? It blew over like a kettle. It's obviously what goes on. It's obviously. I'm going to try and get the Richer report itself, actually. Let's look at the Guardian. Oldham Council went on the defensive yesterday when it questioned the methodology of the Richer report into the rioting. And, you know, that report was bang on, guys. It was bang on. I lived in Oldham. Just around that time, it might have been a year after, but around that time, I spent a lot of time in that area. We had friends. My dad's West Indian club was in Glodwick, so I spent a lot of time there. And the Ritchie report criticised Oldham Council for failing to address segregation. And when you look at Her Hills, it's the same thing that happened there. You look at some areas across Birmingham, London, Rotherham, South Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, same there. And these issues are never dealt with. And, you know, I'm just going to throw something in. You know, people go on about integration, but, you know, everyone's got to be held to account. Why don't the Jewish communities integrate a bit better instead of having police vans with Jewish writing on? This is the old thing that's messing up our country. People aren't taking on our values and integrating properly. It's a big issue, never be talked about because it's too politically correct. But I challenge anybody, any news organisation, any reporter, any political party candidate, anybody over this issue. And just the other night, I did have a bit of a recorded interview with George Galloway, and I brought this up. In Oldham, and then I fast forwarded to Her Hills the other week and said, how come these issues aren't dealt with? So over 20 years, nobody's thought of dealing with these issues when that's one of the things. That's why I fucking hate our authorities. That's why I hate the council and I hate the councils. That's why I hate MPs and councillors, because they're shithouses. They won't deal with these issues because they're too afraid of that buzzword being said to them. And look at the state of our country. So these are 2 incidents I'm telling you about that are well documented, have nothing to do with, I didn't cause these, other people cause these, the councils, the authorities cause these. And the state of our councils and how they work is affecting social services, because we have too many box tickers in councils. They're only in the council because, like, just take for instance, it could be a woman, colour, LGBT. That's box ticking. They're not bothered if they can do the job. They just want the box tickers in to look good and all that lot. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I'll call anybody out on it. I've told the police what I think in several times in interviews, in the Mayor's question time. Brought all this up before. No one listens to me. No one listens to me. If I ever get any power in this country, there'll be big changes, guys. There'll be absolutely big changes, especially with our political class. You won't be getting donations from the Middle East. You won't be doing that. You won't have any groups in your party called the Friends of Israel or the Friends of Palestine. I ban them all. And if you don't accept British values, I'm going to bring in treason and just get you deported or something like that. When I mean treason, I don't mean cutting anyone's head off, but you're going to get jailed and you're going to get reported. You burn our flag, you're going to get jailed. And not just a £50 fine. You're going to get jailed for 10 years. We're just going to, I've had enough of it. And like I said, it's not my fault. It's other people not dealing with these issues. Just listen to this. Listen. Oldham Council went on defensive yesterday when it questioned the methodology of the Ritchie report into writing in the Time last year, which concluded that the authority had done little to challenge racial segregation in education and housing over 30 years. Guys, 30 years. Not 1 year, not 2 years, 30 years. And I'm absolutely sick of it. Ashley Simon, Britain First, she was talking to an inspector, a chief constable at Telford Police, and he says he's got information of rape gangs for 40 years in Midlands, 40 years, and nothing's been done about it. Nothing's been done about it, guys. Absolutely nothing's been done about it. Now, I don't have to mention Tommy Robinson or Britain First or anybody. What I can tell you is that I've talked to victims. I've looked into it. I've been to court cases, dozens of court cases. I've interviewed perpetrators. I've interviewed victims and survivors. I've talked to victims and survivors. I've supported these kind of people for the past 10 years. And my story is quite a sad one. I was in, my dad passed away in 2006. So I moved up to Bradford for 5 years. Got a job up there. And I met a guy, was a salesman, married, and had a young child. And the first couple of Christmases, I were on my own, isolated. So he invited me round to his house. On the second Christmas, I were up there. So I had Christmas at his house, met his family, met his daughter, met his wife, met his parents, and some of his other family members. A great guy. Then he moved jobs, so he moved away a bit. And 2 years later, he's come back. And the gist of the story is split up with his missus, and he's moved to South Yorkshire, Sheffield area. And unbeknown to him and his missus, that this breakup had affected the daughter. She's growing up now, and she got groomed, guys. Now, there was no sexual assault, but she was given presents. And she started to have an attitude with her parents. And if you look into grooming, presents is something. Oh yeah, I'll give it you. If your parents won't give you a phone, I'll give you a phone. I'll help you. This is what they do. And then also they say things to turn you get away against your family. Oh, your parents aren't really good, are they? They don't give you a phone. They don't let you out. They don't let you do this. And to a kid, that's really damaging to a kid, and turns them against the parents and the friends and all that lot, which makes them easier to isolate and easier to go. You know, I could tell you this all day, but this is basic stuff, guys. Basic stuff. I shouldn't have to tell anybody, not online or anything. I shouldn't have to tell anyone. This is basic stuff, this, if you've done your research. And like I said, I have looked into this. I've read books. I've read books on profiling. I've read books on grooming, the kind of steps they do to get you. And I think anyone who knows anything about what I'm saying will 100% agree with me. There is other things in it, but these are just some of the things. Now, this happened, and he had gone to the police, and the police weren't doing nothing. And this is about 2008 or 9. I can't remember the exact year, 2008 or 9, which was at the point where just a couple of years after that, it come out about Rotherham and the 1,510 girls that were official numbers, not 1,400. It's 1,510 girls who were abused. I believe that that's a lot more myself. I really do. One moment, guys. One moment. So yeah. So that happened. So wasn't getting any contact off the police. So me and another lad, so I'm mixed race. There's another mixed race lad, and the guy whose daughter was white, and it was on shoot, it was a Friday. We finished work early and we drove to somewhere in Sheffield. I forget what police station. It was that long ago. I just forget, guys. And we tried to talk to police. They wouldn't listen to us. We were there for 4 hours, and then we got threatened with arrest if we didn't move on. We got threatened with arrest. We didn't move. Since then, guys, I've absolutely been on the case about this grooming gang thing, and no one's going to change my mind. No one's going to say to me who's not doing it and who is doing it. I know all this information, and you only have to talk to some of my friends. I've got videos on my YouTube at court, at these court cases. I've got videos on my YouTube being threatened off these people. I've got videos on my YouTube where I repeat what victims' families say, what they've said, and stuff like that. I mean, there was a mum and a daughter in Bradford who were helping when we went to Huddersfield Crown Court, and some of the information they give us was like unbelievable stuff. Since then, a lot of the cases that we was following there have been dealt with. There's been lots of custodial sentences. I've seen some of the most violent rape gang cases going up where things like pointing guns, knives, stabbing knives, shooting guns at people. Somebody got a bullet on the side of the leg in a particular case in Bradford. People have been threatened with guns to keep the mouth shut. Threats to life is dominant in a lot of these things. And these things are just never addressed by our council. You'll never hear Naz Shah coming out with anything like that. You never hear George Galloway saying anything like that. You never hear any Labour scumbag councillor or MP saying anything about it. It's just left to people like me. Then they call me names, but the thing is, you can't call me in any names, guys. Tommy Robinson didn't send me to these court cases. I went on my own. The BNP and the National Front were nothing to do with why I travelled to Rotherham to speak to victims. I did it on my own. I did not use anybody or anything to do the things that I did. So you can't call me on that. And I don't really get called. You know why? Because people know I go there on my own. People know I turn up at these court cases. Plenty of times there's no backup, but 3 or 4 of us will turn up and we'll go in and we'll write down and detail these court cases. And then we talk about them after they've finished. Or we talk about them while they've been on. If something's in the public view already, nobody, not the police, not the courts, could stop me talking about it online if it's in a newspaper report. And that's what I do. I've just read out the Oldham Guardian about the Ritchie report and the riots. So that's documented. So no one can tell me that I can't talk. Now, there is a lot of stuff that I have known that I can't talk about. And there's still stuff that I know now that I can't talk about. But, you know, these cases, There was a particular case called Operation Sanctuary, and that happened in the northeast, one of the worst areas for this kind of crime. There were around 80 people jailed. I think one was some white girl. She had like half her hair and some of her hair were coloured. There was an Indian, the odd Bangladeshi, but unfortunately the majority of them were Pakistani. And good evening, Sarah Love. And I got contacted once by a parent of whose friend's daughter, on her report that came back from school, it had on it Operation Sanctuary. So the first things I asked this parent, I said, was your child involved in grooming or anything? No. Does she have a stable family? Has she been in a home, or have you had anything to do with social services? No. Just a nice family, a regular family. But what we did work out was that she knew that the girl in question, I did know her name, but I forgot it. It's written down somewhere in my notebook, but I don't have to say anyone's name. This is an actual thing, and we worked out that she went to a school where a couple of girls were being groomed, and she knew them. And of course, a police investigation would have highlighted this person, this girl. So that's why it ended up on this report. I'm not, as far as I know, they didn't interview her. She was never arrested and she was never in any trouble, but she did know that the girls who were being groomed. So, like nobody hears of that story. No, I never hear anyone talk about that. I never hear Tommy Robinson or any other group, councillors, nobody, no other activists even talk about that because, right, thanks. What they see, they only see a certain section and they want to focus on certain sections, so they don't see everything behind it. So through my years of traveling and stuff like that, I met up with all these kind of people. This is why I'm so onto this grooming gang thing, and it's affected me because I see how people don't do nothing. I see how police like that, and that's what the councillors are like as well across the country. Rotherham Council, absolutely disgraceful. When the Jay's report come out into the Rotherham scandal, all the council just stepped down. All the major players in the council just stepped down because they were guilty. And what happened to them? A lot of them were in Labour Party, just got moved to other areas. We even had an ex-councillor from Rotherham in Oldham campaigning for another Labour activist. And like it's just brushed under the carpet. Now that would never have happened with me. If I'd have gone somewhere else, I'd have been highlighted, attacked, and everything. Never happened with me. So there's got to be some accountability from the Pakistani community, especially in Oldham and in Rotherham. So after the Jay's report come out, they estimated 1,400 children, but there were still investigations going. And in 2018, there was still 300 or 400 people under investigation. And that's in 2018, 4 or 5 years after the report come out. And there were still people being investigated. And I'm not joking. The Pakistani community mourned at the police and said, you're picking on us and you're being racist. Yeah, them hundreds of people were in that community. It's just so messed up, our country. You just couldn't make it up. You just couldn't make it up. You really couldn't make it up. And it's just infuriating. That's why I'm so passionate, guys. That's why I'm so passionate about running in local elections, wanting to change things. I'll never shut up. No one's going to ever make me shut up about integration, holding other communities accountable for what they've done wrong and stuff like that. We just wouldn't be in this mess if we did, we didn't have political correctness. The police too scared of that. That's what it is. In a lot of these cases, the police were too frightened or too scared to do anything for the fear of being called racist. That's what it was like. Yeah, so, you know, and this is all documented. I'm not making up. Please look at the Jay's report into Rotherham scandal and look at the Ritchie report into the Oldham Bradford riots. I don't make things up, guys. I have an opinion, but most of the time I'll speak of factual things that are documented. And, you know, there's, you know, I just feel sorry for everyone involved. I feel sorry for the Pakistani community because their leaders aren't held to account. And then everyone picks on them. Everyone picks on them. Whenever there's something goes on, it's that the Islamic community, they're all teased. It's all it is. But if we'd have dealt with these issues when they first came in the UK, we just wouldn't be in such a mess now. Yes, I agree immigration is an issue. I agree with getting the wrong kinds of people in. I agree with all that. I agree with I agree that mass immigration is bad. I agree. I don't want any immigration, me. I've had enough. Whoever we've got in this country stays in this country. I'm not going to kick anyone out. We're not. We do want to kick out asylum seekers, refugees, criminals, and you know, there's got to be a time limit on it. You might have to be here 10 years or more to stay here and not get deported. But I want to deport foreign criminals who just come to this country. We've had murderers come from the EU. We've had drug dealers come from the EU. We've had rapists come from the EU. We've had all them kind of people in the refugees that have come here. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything when Emily Jones was killed, stabbed to death in Bolton. No one said anything. Altonia Scania, Albanian, she was on leave to stay here. She'd already been threatening people with knives. She came over here illegally, claiming that she was trafficked, but she weren't. Honestly, left this person in the UK and she ended up killing 7-year-old Emily Jones. And how do I know? I went to the court case, guys. Big John was there at the fucking court case. Nobody else. There weren't any media. Well, there was a couple of media there. And I made an issue with the judge that a member of the public should be in the court case. The judge had to come out and talk to us, then let me in. Otherwise, we wouldn't know nothing. I wouldn't know what the woman looked like or anything. Honestly, you know, and, you know, that's like simple thing now. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know, leave to remain here. She'd already threatened her family members with violence. She came over here illegally, claiming she was trafficked, but she weren't. She was an illegal immigrant, back of a lorry, and then ended up ending Emily Jones's life, 7-year-old Emily Jones. And even then, even the case, I'm going to say this, and I haven't said this publicly, but that case is dodgy as hell. Dodgy as hell, that case. That's all I'm going to say. And there's a few other cases that I could go through that are dodgy as hell. And East Street, Bury. Sarah Hussein, East Street, Bury. So, East Street, Bury, Sarah Hussein, she came running out of her house on fire, yeah? And 3 guys were arrested, and then that were it then. She took her own life and nothing was said. Well, I went down to East Street, guys. I talked to people, and since then I've been telling everyone, including people I've met in the street, that this is honour violence. Well, fucking 2 years after she died, they're doing a reinvestigation because the woman did not take her own life, coroner rules. So, you know, that would have been ignored if Big John had shouted his mouth off that much. And I told everyone, I was doing videos on it all the time. I said, I didn't get arrested. No one said nothing to me, but I was right. I said it was honour violence in the beginning. No one listened to me. I got fucking people on X and Twitter and all that. You're a racist. You're a racist. So yeah, you know what I mean. A Bury woman gets set alight. Don't care what religion she is, and then that's all right, and nobody gets a fingered for it. So you know, and this got brought up in the Mer's question time as well, guys. Big John don't shut his mouth for nobody, and this got brought up in the Mer's question time. So now the Bury Times, and it's the date 6th of September this year. Sarah Hussein, Bury woman, did not take own life, coroner rules. She was killed. She was killed. You know why she was killed, though? And there's not a lot of many people will know this. Not many people will know this, but you know why she was. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Well, you know why she was killed, right? Because she was promiscuous. Because she was a slag. That's why she was killed. And as far as I'm concerned, that's honour violence. And how do I know that? Because I talked to other Muslims who said that, just that. Oh, well, she was promiscuous. Like, it's all right that she gets killed because she's promiscuous. This is what goes on in England. And no cunt will say anything. No Keir Starmer, no Tory party. Nobody will say fuck all. There's only Big John who shouts. You know what I mean? It's only me who says anything. But no one else has got the spine. Farage hasn't got the spine. Keir Starmer's not got the spine. No member of parliament has got the spine. George Galloway hasn't got the spine. I've got the spine, guys. So I should have me as leader of the country. I won't lie. I'll tell the truth and I'll be brutally honest with you. But that's Sarah Hussein, if anyone wants to Google her up and look at it. Well, actually, I'll put the Bury thing out. You know, I don't talk shit, guys, me, unfortunately. I'll put the Bury article in the StreamYard. Sorry about the swearing. I'm passionate tonight, guys, because nobody listens. This is why I want to run in local council. So when I get in the council, I'll speak the truth and factually. Sarah Hussein, Bury woman, did not commit suicide. And they're only Big John, only me, nobody else said anything about that case. That said anything about that case. So, you know, that's me. That's Big John in a big windbag. You know what I mean? That's me in a nutshell. You know, and I'll never be silent. I'll never be silent. As a councillor, I'll never be silent. As a member of parliament, I'll never be silent. Any position I ever hold in local public office, I will never be silent. And people better get used to it. You know, people better get used to it. At the moment, I'm on a mission to find somebody who was running as Mayor of Oldham, who abused 2 girls in my estate where I'm running. Now, I know the guy's name. I don't know where he lives or anything. I want to interview him. I want to interview him and ask, you know, as a mayor, do you think it's right that you do that to local white girls? Do you think that's okay? That's what I want to say to him. I don't want to beat him up. He's already had a court case and he already got convicted of it. But I'm going to find out where this guy is, and we're going to confront him and ask him the tough questions. You know what I mean? And this is a guy who was running to be Mayor of Oldham. Mayor of Oldham, guys. That's why I'm so... It upsets me. It upsets me that this is what goes on. And in my last election, I got a call off a grandma, and she told me this. And I've seen the information. I've seen some of the evidence. And, you know, like, I think, like, you know, he's running to be a mayor. He's still in England. He'll probably be still in England. So he's running. He wants to be Mayor of Oldham. He wants a prestigious position of Mayor of Oldham. And he goes and fucking abuses 2 girls, 2 gang rapes 2 girls from one family. Honestly, you know, if I think I'm going to be silent on this, yeah, honestly, you lot on Twitter as well, I fucking wipe you lot on Twitter out as well, honestly. I'm never going to be silent, guys. And these are all true things. These are all things that happened. And it just so absolutely infuriates me that nobody does nothing. And I can understand why people get angry and violent when this kind of thing goes on in their own country. You know what I mean? And, you know, accountability, I want accountability. I don't particularly blame any immigrant who's here. Who I do blame is our authorities. Remember, Oldham, the council had not dealt with these issues for 30 fucking years. So, you know, how am I supposed to blame the immigrant when our fucking council, which was majority white, there was 2 Muslims in the council at that time. So it's like 99% white council. How can I not, like, be silent when that's going on in our country? And these things have happened across the country. It's not just Oldham, across Yorkshire, Birmingham, Telford. It's happened in all these areas, guys. And it's been going on for years and no one's dealt with it. No one says nothing. See no evil. Hear no evil. Speak no evil. That's what it's like. And, you know, it just winds me up. It really does. It just gets me right up my crack. And I'm sure anybody, lefty, righty, that these things I'm saying would wind you up. I can't believe these left-leaning people. They go on all the time. I try to explain this on TikTok to people. And when I start talking about the Ritchie report, which is a bona fide report, I'm not giving me opinion. And I say that these issues haven't been dealt with for 30 years. Some Muslims have agreed, but most of them just don't want to accept accountability. And I'm just sick of it. I really am sick of it, guys. So I'm going to wage a war, me. I'm going to wage a war, and there's going to be casualties. But you know where that war is going to be held? It's going to be held, that my war is going to be waged at the ballot box. That's where I'll be taking people down, at the ballot box. That's where I'm going to wipe out that's where I'm going to take down the Angela Rayners, the Keir Starmers, the Rishi Sunaks at the ballot box. And that's where we're all going to do it. And that's what I suggest to everybody. And on an average, you just get, there's not many areas that were more than 50% of the people who vote. There aren't many areas. If people pulled the finger out in Oldham and voted, we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't have the counselling now. We wouldn't have a gangsters mall, a route shine, a council if people voted. And that's why I'm glad that we had the Workers' Party and Reform have took loads of votes off the Labour Party in Manchester in the northwest. They've took loads of votes off them. They absolutely decimated the Labour vote in Oldham. The Labour MPs still got in, but they got in with low majorities. Let's just get to Angela Rayner's details. Let's just get to Angela Rayner's details. Right, just let's. I mean, I did repeat out the statistics enough, but I'm just going to make sure I'm on the right statistics here now. I'm just going to make sure I get it exactly right. Just let me just make sure I get exactly right. Oh, it's not giving me the proper details on the wiki page. So, yeah, she stood as MP for Ashton-under-Lyne 2015 general election with 48.1% of the vote, a majority of 10,000 votes. Then let me just look for a next lot. Just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I will. A bit random tonight. I know I've been ranting, but you can hear me passion. Like I said, I don't skip to the chase. Me, I just tell you exactly how it is. Everything I've said tonight, can be 100% verified if you just do research on the Jays report, the Richer report, Operation Sanctuary. You can Google up that, read about that. I have told you other things that are linked to it, but you'll never hear that in mainstream media. By the way, my friend, where we went to Sheffield after 4 hours, got arrested. His case did end up getting dealt with because of what happened in Rotherham and the Jays report. There was an article about it, but only small. And I've never mentioned any names because my mate never wanted anything to come out like that. And I never did. But there was an article, and it was somebody else, actually, who sent me some information. I seen a particular name. I did some research, and the perpetrator was in that, and that's how I knew. Then I contacted the guy, and he said, yeah, there's been a court case and someone has been done for it. That's what it said. So I've never looked back, guys. I really never looked back. And, you know, they're scared of me. I'll never get on the mainstream media because I just say factual things and things that are against the grain. They'll just make shit up for me and put me in the paper like the Jewish Chronicle do and say that they've tried contacting me when they're lying scumbags. The Good Law Project, you know, people like Hope Not Here, you know, but you know, I'll never ever get approached by mainstream media because the shit houses, and I'll just wipe them out with my facts and figures. You know what I mean? You know, they normally, when they're talking to someone, they normally just get an angry white guy who will like focus on Islam. It's not me. I don't focus on Islam. I hardly ever talk about religion. I'll just tell you facts and figures about communities and people, and how they don't integrate, and how they just take the piss out of British life and British culture. And I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. And that includes anyone black. If you think you can just go on with your George Floyd stuff, you're not worth it. Neither. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem, like your Sasha Johnsons and that. You're part of the problem. But, you know, should I be blaming them? No. You know what I should blame? The universities and the schools for teaching them woke rubbish that we have in. You know, I'm never going to call anyone's pronouns. I'll tell you that right now. I said something about sex education. No one ever says anything to me. I ain't been approached by anyone. I haven't been arrested by the police for hateful crime. I haven't had the LGBTs cancelling me out. I haven't. Never. It's been on every one of my goddamn leaflets that I've run in an election, and it'll be on every stinking leaflet that I ever run. They did say something once about Pakistani guy who went against sex education. He put it on his leaflet. I couldn't believe it. They had to go at him, and he was in the paper, but no one said nothing to me. You couldn't make it up, guys. Honestly. So I'm sure there was a Pakistani guy running in elections. Looks like me. I'll see if I can find the article. Yeah, we spoke to Andrew. We had him on a stream, Simon. Lovely guy. I like Andrew. We're going to try and get him involved in our celebrity Bigger Brother / celebrity Get Me Out of Here next year. And we will be getting on the late night veteran show stream as well. But we talked. I loved him. I liked him. And when I told him that I'm running in local politics, he was buzzing. And he really did encourage me on. I'm just such a shame he never got his member of parliament. Yeah, Sammy Woodhouse, Sarah. Sammy's doing well now, doing interviews. Now, I've talked about Sammy's case a lot. So let me briefly tell you about Sammy's case. So in the end, Sammy's family and Sammy had to move to Spain or something like that because the police, the councillors were just ignoring them. The people who abused her were threatening her family and everything. She had to move. And even David Blunkett, that blind MP, it wasn't till they went to him that he said something and something happened. Absolutely, totally ignored Sam. And I've talked about Sammy's case a lot. I've talked her onto it. I've actually sir, I've actually asked her if she'll interview me or I'll interview her. That's what I said to her. And I only said that today as well, messaged her on Twitter. I'm sure she'll get back to me. But yeah, it's just, but nobody says nothing now. You know, I wouldn't say anything against anybody if people were held accountable. People are never held accountable. They're never held accountable for the stuff they do. And, you know, it just absolutely fires me up and absolutely ticks me box. You know what I mean? I want to do something. That's why I'm politically minded now. That's why I want to run in local elections. I'm confident, talk to anyone at the door about it. And, you know, like, I've had Muslims at the door. Look at my leaflet. Oh, what's this about rape gangs? Well, there's accountability, mate. Don't you agree? And, you know, like, they're stumped when I say that, because there is accountability. You know, and I come from Oldham, guys. It's been a very multicultural place for a long time. But I mean, we've had we had a big Ukrainian community here, Polish community. They're not really here now, but what I can say is that them people integrated. And now there'll be people here who have Ukrainian or Polish grandparents, but they class themselves as English because they integrated well. And I've come across many. I've got friends who've got them that ethnicity in the family, but they don't consider themselves Ukrainian. They consider themselves Oldhamers, English, British. That's what they consider themselves. And you know, it's just shocking. It's just shocking. Yeah, Nick Wilson in chat. Nick, I do, honestly. That's one of me. That's something that, like, made me look at you, Nick, was your frustration. I've seen it in your chats. And thinking what I've just said then, my frustration, you can see how it's linked. And that's what's drawn me to you, Nick, quite a lot through that. And obviously, your particular case. So Nick, 2008, just as like the 3 girls scandal were going on in Rochdale, Nick was jumped by a gang of Pakistanis. He's never had there's been no proper investigation. No one were arrested. Suffers from brain damage. He's got back trouble. He's got severe health problems. He wasn't a thug. Nick weren't a thug or anything like that. He was just a normal lad walking through Rochdale. And in 2002, another Rochdale lad got killed in Glodick called Gavin Hopley. So we'd had the riots in 2001. In 2002, Gavin's walked down the wrong road, 3 of them. 2 of them managed to escape, and Gavin got kicked to death in the Glodick area. There was 9 people ended up getting done for his case, but it were violent disorder. The highest sentence was 21 months and the lowest sentence was 9 months. One of them lied, said he weren't there, and another guy shot him in, right, but got drugs and rape charges dropped. Honestly, you just couldn't make it up. You just couldn't make it up. This welcome to Oldham, guys. Well, I hope you lot on Twitter are watching this, and please, if you're watching on Twitter, put me in Open Not 8 posts, please. Put me in the Reform post. Share me all over Twitter. Share me all over Twitter. And if anyone wants to debate me on any issues or anything like, you're quite welcome to come on a stream with me. I won't call you names. I won't scream at you. I won't threaten you. But I will wipe you out with my facts and figures. That's what I will do. And my talking and my general knowledge and my honesty. I will wipe you out. You've got to be very brave. Or very stupid to come up against Big John. I'm telling you that right now. Nobody will. Nobody ever has. Nobody's ever questioned me or anything because I speak facts, guys. I don't make things up. I don't make things up. If I've seen something with my own eyes, I'll tell you. I told you about what happened at social service. I told you what happened with Musa. Reactive abuse. He reacted bad, which give the police permission to arrest him. And to this day still, he's being harassed by social services, and it just absolutely winds me up. It winds me up. And Musa's Somalian. I don't give a shit what colour they are or anything like that. But if you're going to treat kids in the UK like you treat these people's kids and my friends' kids and Angie's kids and Andy's kids. We're coming for you guys. We're coming for you. If I get names of social services people who've stolen people's kids, I'll be outside your office calling you out, just like I did at Longsight. I'll call you out. When I get a name and I know that that name is true and you took kids on false behaviours or anything, we're coming for you. We're coming for you. And we'll come to your offices and we'll call you out. We'll put your name all over social media. We'll put your name, we'll get your name in the papers and stuff. That's what we're going to do. It's just a warning. I'm not taking no prisoners. Definitely not taking no prisoners. And, you know, I'm not saying everybody in social services are evil. They're not. I understand that. I understand that. And I understand that some people in social services won't say anything because they want the pension or they want the jobs. You know, now, I can understand that, even though if I was in that position, I'd be quite happy to lose my pension and my job to speak out on a moral thing. I'd be quite happy to me. I don't give a shit. But I'm a different kind of person. I've got a different mindset. I know people have families. I have to look after my mum, and that's hard enough as it is, just for one person. Luckily, I've got a good family unit. But, you know, we're going to come for you guys. We're going to call you out. We're going to spread your name over X and Facebook and TikTok. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to start up NHP UK Ungagged, and we're going to get people on telling the stories. Now, you know, if you want to come on and show me the evidence, that's fine. If you want to come on and talk, but you're too scared to show your face, that's fine. I just want you to be honest with us, guys. I want you to be honest. I'm not going to say that everybody is innocent. They're not. Some kids do need taking off the parents. The simple fact. It's a fact. It needs to do. But we need to do it in a better way, and we need to do it in a more responsible way to where we don't affect them kids' mental health. I mean, imagine like 7-year-old getting dragged out of your parents' house and took to social services. Imagine that. Now, them kids who got took from Her Hills and other areas, how are they going to control them kids? You know, if they're after a certain age, they're going to try and escape and kick off and stuff like that and get hurt. And, you know, we don't hear about that, but these kids get hurt. They get hurt. They hurt themselves and they get hurt by other people. And it absolutely just fires up my box. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm a political party candidate. That's why I want to run in local elections. Yes, mate. I want to run in local elections and I want to do better for my communities. And I want to call out the hypocrisy of all these people. Now, nobody should be smashing anything up. What we should be doing is voting and getting Keir Starmer out, getting the Labour Party out, getting the Tories out, getting them all out, get everyone out, change the political landscape, get more independent members of parliament, get more small local parties running your town and stuff like that. That's what we want to do. And once we get to that point, and it is changing, guys, even though you might not think it is, it's changing. If you know me well, I do videos on elections, and I have done for the past 6-7 years. And I look closely into the elections and stuff like that. There is now councils in this country that are not run by any political party. They're run by they're run by independents. And there's a lot more independents coming into the field. Now, some of them, so what, them independents might be lefties, but they don't hold values of, they don't hold the policies of like Labour Party or the Tories. They don't hold them kind of policies. The independents are more locally and British based. They're not bothered about things abroad, except for there is a couple of like Islamic ones who are bothered. But on a general basis, an independent will be more for his town, his community in Great Britain. But as a mega political party like Labour and Tories, no. My party, we stick to UK things. We're not bothered about things around the rest of the world. I don't want to give arms out. I don't want to give arms to Israel. But then again, I don't want to be giving foreign aid to China or Africa. Africa's never going to go nowhere. And it's nothing to do with right wing. It's the left. The left don't want Africa to be a economic power, which they could be, but they don't want that because it's more pollution and all that lot. That's why they just give them handouts all the time. That's why they just give them out. I won't be doing that. I'm not bothered, me. My issue, the things on climate change is like, it's low down on the list for me. But the thing is, if now we've come out of the EU, I'd be more likely to buy me apples from Africa. We'll get them cheaper and they're just as good. Potatoes and some vegetables. But, you know, and you know, the powers to be like France and all that, they're screwing over getting all that uranium for nuclear power thing. China now are in, get all the phones are making and all the elements used in the phones, cobalt and all that lot, they're digging them out of Africa, and Africa's getting nothing for it. But it's always going to be like that. Now, if we was like a right-wing country, we'd be more for capitalism. We'd be more for Africa being in economic power. We would be. But the left don't. That's why all they're going to do is give you handouts and dig a couple of trenches for you to drain water from the river. That's all they're going to do. They're never going to do more than that, because if they do more than that, then Africa becomes an economic power, and then that goes against all the pollution, all the globalist thing. And if Africa became a political power, economic power, the left won't get away with LGBT in Africa. It'd be kicked out and stuff like it is in Saudi Arabia. So it's not me who wants Africa poor. It's the lefties. It's the globalists, the lefties. They don't want you as an economic power. Everybody hates China. All the top people in Europe and they hate China. They hate China. They hate them. Well, one sec, guys. One sec. So yeah, they don't want them to be an economic power or anything like that. It just goes against it. So as far as I'm concerned, the left will just have Africa digging trenches. That's what they'll have to do. So don't have a go at me over colonialism or anything. Don't have a go at me. Don't have a go at Britain. What you should be looking at is like the EU, NATO, the globalist leaders, because they just don't want you to have anything in Africa, and then you're easy to control. Then, you know what I mean? Then they can use this colonialism thing, so you attack Britain all the time until Britain's wiped out. It's just, honestly. But anyway, guys, sorry about ranting on. I'm passionate about these things, and like I said, I've got a lot of proof to everything I've said. There's proof. There's articles. Please have a look at the Jays report. Please have a look at the Richer report. Look into the report in Telford. I mean, why did Telford, when the scandal broke in Telford, there was, let me just, right, so Lucy Allen, Tory Member of Parliament, 2015. When the Telford scandal broke, the Labour Party, who were running the area at the time, or whatever, the council, blocked an application to do an investigation into Telford. They blocked it. So this is all documented stuff. It's nothing to do with Tommy Robinson or anything right wing. The Labour Party blocked an initial thing to do an investigation or an inquiry into the Telford scandal. Lucy Powell, Lucy Allen, I'll tell her name, Lucy Allen, Member of Parliament, telling this to Telford Police, everybody in government. Lucy Allen did a public meeting and asked for this report to be done and not to be ignored. Lucy Allen, please search it up, guys. How do I know? Because my mate went there recording it. How do I know? If you know Mohammed, the Pakistani guy, ex-Christian, who used to go around with Tommy, he went as well to the public meeting. So Lucy Allen demanded that an investigation get done when after the Labour Party blocked it initially. Why did they block it? Well, you just look at Telford now. 40 years of evidence. There's been four people murdered, as well as all them estimated 1,000 girls gang raped in Telford. Police are involved. Police officers are involved. Council officers are involved. Prominent members of the community there are involved. Lucy Allen, I don't make shit up, guys. Lucy Allen did a public meeting demanding that an inquiry get done. When that inquiry got done, 1,000 victims, a lot of stuff came out after that inquiry. Nothing to do with me. I don't even live in Telford. I wasn't the one at the public meeting I wasn't the one at the public meeting to saying that we want the investigation. This is what happened. And, again, it's just the failures. Police, council, they don't want to say nothing. They're just so shit scared of saying things and upsetting minority communities. It's unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. 500 on. Thank you very much. How many you're on Twitter? 339. Guys, 339. Actually, I want some donations. That's what I want. PayPal's there for our party. Get some donations into me. If you want people who's going to speak out, you want people who are going to run in public office, that's me. I haven't no plans to step down or anything. I'm 57. I've got plenty of years left yet to run in public office, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm always going to speak out, never going to be silenced. I'm never going to close my eyes, and I'm never going to cover my ears. I'm never going to do that, guys. I'm always going to speak out, and that's what I want to do. But anyway, let's get back to we was going to get the Maid, Marions and Robin Hoods on, but they're not coming on. But we will rearrange. But I mean, I met these guys, veterans, civvies. There's people with issues with domestic violence in the group. Veterans, there's male veterans, female veterans. All these people have families and stuff like that. And some of them have been abused as kids and stuff like that. But they wanted to come together and try and support people. I went up to Batewell the other week in Peak District, met them up there when they were doing a walk and raising funds for our reboot program that we're doing to do with combat PTSD. Linked to the PTSD camp in Bath with my second home. Other than my political party, my mum, that's Bath, where I go for me relaxing. I've looked after my mum for 5 years, and I've been to that camp every Christmas. And I'm isolated. I'm isolated with my mum. I do have family come round, but a lot of the time I'm isolated. I might be in the house for 3-4 days, not been able to go out and stuff like that. So when I did get time off, I went to the camp, and I've been made welcome there. I have Christmas dinner with veterans. I'm always well looked after. And for that, I'll do streams. I'm the host of the Late Night Veterans Show. We film stuff. We promote the camp. But like I said, we're doing this now at the moment, reboot program. Nick Wilson's doing it in the chat as well. Nick's exceptional. Nick will tell you himself. But he said in a post the other week, so Nick's been isolated through what he's suffered. And the reboot program is pulling him out of his isolation a little bit. He's got a group he can talk to. Anything that's said in that program is kept between us. I'll never repeat what anyone else says unless they've said it, like Nick's actually said this online. And but I tell my story, but nothing else gets repeated. It can be very emotional, the course, but we don't repeat anything. Nobody's ever repeated anything. I have, to do with my case and things that people might say online. But Nick's done really well, and he's coming out of his shell. It's helped me. It's helped me as well. We've learned, even though I went into it thinking that I didn't have any trauma, we now think that it did affect me, but not in a negative way. That the way it affected me is it pushed me to do positive things. I started my party up. My incident happened 2018, August 2018. By 2021, I'm starting a political party up and running in local elections. So that's how it has affected me. Not negative. It hasn't put me into withdrawal myself. Hasn't isolated me. I've not gone on to drink and drugs to numb the pain or anything. I haven't committed suicide. It's affected me in a positive way to push me into politics. And that's what we've worked out through that course, guys. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. That's what we've worked out for me in that course. But, you know, so that's what we're doing now. We're on the second round of this course, me and Nick. I'd like to be like somebody who teaches other people, even though I don't suffer from combat PTSD, but you know, I'm not serving armed forces either. But you know, I want to do stuff, you know, and I want to try and help people, and that's how we're doing it. And the only cost of this is this book costs 25 quid, and it's a workbook. It's got pictures in, graphs and stuff like that. We have to do a midweek check-in and do a bit of homework, which I'm doing after this. And it's a really good book, guys, but that's the only cost. And the rest of the stuff, Brian does it in America, and he does it off his own back, and he wants to help people. And Mitch is a veteran, and he's been through some like goddamn awful stuff. Not going to say anything, but he has, and he wants to help people. And Mitch has been helping people. He's been helping people through this book, and he's been helping people with personal one-to-ones over Zoom and stuff like that. We've been he's been supporting Kevin from the Northeast. Actually, I need to phone Kevin up because I haven't spoken to him in a few days. But he's been supporting Kevin in the Northeast and other people in the UK who've had issues, veterans and some civvies. So, and he's doing all this off his own back, doesn't earn any money. We do want to raise some money. We've come to a bit of a fold. We've had to like just stop for time being, but we're going to be doing some more videos, and we're going to be trying to raise money to put more people on the reboot program for a start. Something for Mitch towards his cost. He needs a WhatsApp. He has to use Zoom, and that costs money. If you're more than an hour, and anyone who uses Zoom knows. And and like I said, the help that he's giving other people off his own back, nothing to do with anything, you know. So we want to give him a little bonus. We want some money towards a reboot, and we're looking at doing other programs. We're looking at doing programs that this is more a faith-based thing. This. But it doesn't deal with alcohol and drugs. But we want to do courses that do deal with alcohol and drugs because it's a big issue in community. It's a massive issue in the community. Yes, Darren, thank you, mate. It's a massive issue in the community is drink and drugs. So we want to do courses to do with that. So we're trying to raise funds. But something's come up at the moment. Bit of a tour in the road. There's a break in the road. We're going to have to hold off for a bit, but we will get back onto it. But we will. But please, honestly, you know, donate to me. We've done 50,000 leaflets since we started. And I mean, at first I was spending money on leaflets, but now, because we have people in the party, we're building up, we do get some donations. Any candidate who's running for us is they'll get the leaflets. Darren's in the chat. Darren's going to run in the town council down in Somerset. I think it's a bang off idea. We did a good. We went to the MP hustings, me and Darren, and we made an impact. The supporting the veterans. So I think the next step is get Darren in the town council. It's not too difficult. It's not as difficult as a normal councillor, and it's you learn how to do things. You don't have to be particularly clever or anything. You just got. I mean, some skills is being a people person, being able to talk to people. That's essential in a councillor. Being able to talk to anyone in the street, at the door, on the phone, and discuss things. And that's what I'm good at. But yeah, so we'll definitely have the Maid, Marions and Robin Hoods on again. They're a bit busy tonight. There's a lot going on. I think they're supporting somebody right now as well. But we will get them on, and we will have a bit more in-depth chat. Yes, Melinda. We will get down to it, and we'll have a bit more of a chat. Why is it not? Melinda's not coming up in me StreamYard. Oh yeah, there you are at the bottom. At the bottom. But yeah, we will get round to, and we'll have them on again, and we'll do something with them again. But you know, there's a bit of a gist about me, bit what I'm into and all that lot. And you know, like I know Tommy can be a bit of a sour taste on some people's mouths and not on others. But like I said, I've done all this myself. I didn't follow anyone to do this. I wanted to go to these court cases. I wanted to go to the police station. I wanted to get involved in these kind of things as soon as I seen what happened to my mate in Sheffield, and I just weren't having it. We got threatened with arrest. They wouldn't listen to us. They just wanted to silence us. They didn't want to listen to us. They threatened us with arrest after 4 hours because we weren't going anywhere, and we absolutely made clear to them. And it weren't until they threatened us with arrest, honestly. Then we had to go. But I've never looked back, guys. And I don't see why I should have to look back. I want accountability for the failures of our councils and MPs and our government. They won't even mention any of these things. And they're so out of touch with the working class as well. It's just unbelievable. And like I said, the stuff I've talked about tonight is like, council's not dealing with these, not dealing with racial tensions, not dealing with segregation, not dealing with social housing issues, which led to this. And you know, it's just and unfortunately, it's majority. Back in 2000, majority white people who are politically correct. It's so ingrained into our councillors. Oh, I better not say something. I'm going to upset a minority community. Oh my God. Oh my God. Honestly, you know, look, just have mercy on me, Lord, because I just want to speak for people. You know what I mean? But this is what we have to deal with. Like I said, I don't care who's listening. You can listen in on Twitter, Hope Not Here, Labour Party, Reform. I think fucking 99% of you are just a load of shit houses. And you haven't got the bottle or anything. I mean, if you had the bottle, you'd be standing in local elections like me. That's what we want people to do. Honestly, join our party and stand in local elections. We've had a good run. We've had a really good feedback off members of the public over our leaflet and stuff like that. We've had good feedback down in Gloucester. We've had good feedback in the Wirral. We've had good feedback down London. We've had good feedback in Oldham. And we really have. And you know, we're really set on it. We're not extremists in any way. You know what I mean? We just don't want, we want to end permanent settlement, exit the 1951 Refugee Convention, and sort our country out and sort the housing out. And, you know, the housing issue, you know, everyone goes on about immigration, but the main part of the housing that's at fault is when Margaret Thatcher brought in right to buy. There's nothing wrong with right to buy. What the councils didn't do is build houses to make for the ones that they sold, because the councils are too busy getting all that money in, thinking what they can spend it on next. And in Oldham, it comes in from everywhere and just goes to one section of community. That's Oldham. That's what the Richer report says. That's what the Richer report says. So, you know, we want more, we want better out of our councils, and we want better accountability, and we want better people running our councils and our government. But she certainly is, let's play. She certainly is. No worry, Bev. Don't worry about it, Bev. It's all right, Melinda. Don't worry, don't worry. But, you know, well, we'll get to it. Like I said, I don't often put myself to any group. I've got my own party, but I've met several members of this group. I like them. They're doing good stuff. Just the other week when they were in Batewell, on the way home, they were helping some homeless person on the way home. While we was there was issues with a veteran, so people were on phone. And, you know, that's what we want to do. That's what they want to do. And I think it's really honourable and good morals to do that sort of thing. So, like I said, I don't really have much to do with other groups. I don't. I do a lot with the PTSD camp. There's my party, and then there's Maid, Marions, and the Red Robins, the Red Robins, I was going to say, but the Maid, Marions, and the Robin Hoods, and I think they're doing really good stuff. I really do. And I've seen them doing the stuff in action. And like I said, there's plenty of things: domestic violence, isolation. One of them's called Bev, and she's got a disabled daughter, so it's like me and my mum. During COVID, I was isolated for 18 months with my mum. We weren't supposed to have people in the house. I'm a grown-ass adult, me. You know what I mean? And I need to have a bit of space. We did cheat and we did get some people in the house, but it was a small, tiny one-bedroom flat. So it weren't like anyone could stay. And if I went away, someone had to stay. And I was isolated for about 18 months during all of COVID thing. And I understand. I understand how it is for Bev. She said that about that isolation. I really do get it. I really do, because I've been in that situation. But anyway, thank you very much. I'll take you out with the theme tune, with the Maid Marion theme tune, and I'll look for I will look for the Robin Hood one. I will. I'll look for that.
In a city full of shadows, where the light forgets to shine, there's a group of silent heroes giving all their heart and time. They walk the streets of sorrow, where the pain is all too real. With open arms they gather, helping wounds to heal. Meet Marions, lift the fallen, mend the broken, with a love that can't be spoken. For the homeless, for the veterans, for the women and the children. They bring hope in the darkest night, a guiding star, a beacon of light. They find the lost and lonely in the corners of despair, offering a shoulder, showing someone cares. Two mothers with their children, seeking shelter from the storm. They provide a safe haven, a place to keep them warm. Maid Marions lift the fallen, mend the broken, with a love that can't be spoken. For the homeless, for the veterans, for the women and the children. They bring hope in the darkest night, a guiding star, a beacon of light. With every hand they hold and every tear they dry, they stitch the fabric of our souls, give wings so we can fly. In a world that seems so heartless, they remind us love is real. With every act of kindness, they help the world to heal. May Marions lift the fallen, mend the broken, with a love that can't be spoken. For the homeless, for the veterans, for the women and the children. They bring hope in the darkest night, a guiding star, a beacon of light. So here's to those who give without a thought of gain. In the midst of all our struggles, they're the sunshine in the rain. For the ones who heal the broken, this song is our prayer. Maid Marions of the world, we're grateful you're there.
Oh, such a lovely bloody tune, that, honestly. And it's done by Rob K. So what we'll do, Rob's started TikToking, so we'll get Rob on sometime, and he can do all this stuff. He makes these tunes with AI, unbelievable. And he done that for the girls, and I think he's made one for the lads as well. So we'll get Rob K on as well, maybe the same time as the Maid Marions. Really good guy, and he's just started off. He has a show on TikTok, and he's doing a show regular. When I finish here, I'm going to go over actually and talk to him and invite him on the show. But thank you, girls. Thank you for coming in. No problem. And I think we've sorted a lot out tonight, I think, by what sounds of the voice note are. But I'm going to be speaking to a couple of people after this. But God bless everyone. Don't forget, if you want someone to speak up for you, just talk to Big John. If you've got that evidence and it's credible, I'll be the one who will shout that name. I'll be the one who'll be outside social services. Well, if not me, it'd be Angie or Andy. Andy's running in London, and there's a few councils in London. Ilford Council, I think, is one of them, and it could be Camden Council, and they're guilty of abusing kids over years. And, you know, like, I'm just not having it. Nobody else ever talks about it. We talk more of, like, everything else around the world, but we don't focus on what's important to us here in the UK. And what's important to us is family, community, and our kids. And nobody's going to get away with it. Nobody's going to get away with it. We're going to hold these people to account, whether they're a copper, social worker, counsellor, MP, the leader, the prime minister. We're going to hold you accountable, and we're coming for you. Like I said, that's where the bloody war of mine's going to be, and it's going to be at the ballot box. Thank you very much.